Oh my God, we are through to a preliminary final. What a game. Let's talk about it. So before we jump into it, excuse my voice. I've practically lost it. I'm running off less than 3 hours sleep. It was a wild, wild night. I can't believe it. Actually, you know what? I can believe it because I went in pretty confident to this game, and every Collingwood supporter that I was talking to and that I met, and I want to shout out all of you, um, were confident going into this game as well. We play Adelaide Oval well. We play against the Crows well. And I always said, right, I'd rather lose to Adelaide in that round 23 game, break the hoodoo a little bit that we, have beaten them for the last 10 years or whatever it was, give them that win. And then in that next game, because I knew we were going to verse them again, I wanted to win that game and win it. We did. It was right from the bounce, right from the get go. This is where the experience comes into play. And we've talked about it, and everyone sort of talked about it. And, people fucking doubted us. People doubted us. It was straight sets. It was, oh, they can't do it. Look at their form. They've only won, what was it? Two of the last seven. Like that form doesn't matter, especially when there's a bye. Form doesn't matter at all. Look at Lions last year. Look at us in 23. It doesn't matter because it's a new season that starts, right? And we hit this game like it was, you know, just I haven't seen that ferocity in Collingwood in a long time. And I think, it was on the back of a couple of good weeks leading up to it. That Adelaide game a couple of weeks ago was great. The Melbourne game was a little bit so and so, but what we brought out, it was all like this, the strength and conditioning coaches. It's all of the resting the players, and they just looked fresh, amped, and they didn't leave anything out there. They gave 150%. It was good, man. It was absolutely good. Adelaide was pumping. So I got here on a Wednesday, and you'll see a vlog come out a little bit soon. I got here on Wednesday, and it was pretty quiet. But then on Thursday, game day, everyone's flying in, everyone's bussing in. There's Collingwood support. It was a sea of black and white. The march up to the game as well. It was just fantastic, and it's like our second home. And I think that really helped the boys as well. If you listen to all of their post interviews and stuff, and Craig McRae, they're all shouting out the Magpie Army for flying up, for driving up, for crawling up here. So we give them that energy in a very, very hostile environment. The game itself was crazy. We were, plus 60 in tackles, 8 tackles inside 50. So not the sort of pressure or the tackling pressure that it was a couple weeks ago against Adelaide. It definitely wasn't the 70 plus inside 50s against Adelaide, but we were just a lot more cohesive. And if you compare our game to Adelaide's game, Adelaide started to do what we were doing a couple of weeks ago, where they were hacking out or just fumbling the ball, or they weren't clean at all. And that's why you see Darcy Moore have all of those intercepts. Like, he had 10 intercept possessions in the first half. He had 9 intercept marks, the most ever, or equal most ever in a final, and one shy of the most or something like that. Like, that is crazy. And, there were a lot of people that were like, oh, Darcy Moore, drop him, blah, blah, blah. Look at that. Like, look at that. They're eating their bloody hats right now, because that was an incredible. That's probably his best performance since 2023. Then you got Jordan De Goey, who, like we said last week, and like if you watch my secret finals weapon video one about De Goey, he was slowly building, and we saw it, right? We saw, what was that, 6 clearances, 7 tackles. It's just absolutely wild. 26 disposals. Is he in strife with that Worrell hit? He does smother the ball with his leg a little bit. It's hard. It's hard to tell which way the AFL goes right now. It's obviously not a purposeful hit. Worrell did stay on the ground, which was good. No concussion or anything like that, so that helps his case. I don't know if it's going to be a weaker or not. I'd have to really watch the footage again to see it, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't know. It might be. It might be a weaker. I'm not really too sure. What I'd love to see, right? We just talked about Darcy Moore. I thought our defense, just in general, really, really held up. And like I said in my preview video, there's always going to be one guy that kind of gets off the chain that you're not really used to. And it was Pedler today, 3 goals. Sorry, Pedler yesterday, 3 goals. Thilthorpe only kicked two. I thought Billy Franklin did a great job. That was probably Maynard and Quaynor's best games for the season. Not probably, I think it definitely was their best games for the season. Maynard was just absolutely that heart and soul in the defense. Getting into lots of fights, which we love. Quaynor was just marking everything, kind of like Darcy Moore, and kind of like his game against Melbourne in that qualifying final. You know what I mean? So it's just a bit of a replication there, which I absolutely love. But then you go to the other side of the ground, and I thought the inclusion of Mason Cox was fantastic. Would have been nice if he kicked a goal. I know he gave away 50 meter, but that's fine. That is what it is. I thought it worked out to a T. It worked out exactly how we wanted it to. He probably could have gotten a couple of free kicks from all the holding and arm chopping and stuff, but he was a focal point. He brought the ball down to the ground. Steele kicking goals, Jamie Elliott's kicking goals because of it. He was smashing it in the ruck, in the centre bounces, and it's just a work of art to see him go up and just tap that ball, and he looked really really good. So I I can't see Dan McStay coming back, which is a shame. But what I will say is, I thought my check, and we'll go over this in Swoop standouts, right? We'll still do this in Swoop standouts. I thought my check had he didn't have his best game. He didn't have his best game, and if anyone is going to make way for a Dan McStay, it won't be Coxie. It might be Checkers. It might actually be Checkers. I thought that third quarter was just an excellent, excellent example of what Magpie football is and how quick we can turn it on. The game was on a knife's edge, and I was saying, like, and to the people around me and stuff, we just need to kick maybe the first one or two, and then to put on a handful of goals in the fashion that we did. It shows you that we can just it's so quick that we can turn it on, but then it's quick that we can turn around and defend like our lives matter. I would have been nice to go into three-quarter time with a little bit more of a lead. We let Adelaide off a little bit. They kicked a couple of cheap goals. We missed a couple of goals. The Checkers. I think it was Lipinski as well. So we didn't do ourselves justice there. But I just thought the way we could turn it on a dime, and then in that last quarter, our pressure was just through the roof. And the example, or it says it itself. One goal kicked in that last quarter by Jamie Elliott, pretty much at the death. That's how close it is, and that's how close finals can be. That's how close finals can be. And now we get an opportunity to play off to win, go through to a grand final. We're in a prelim. It just doesn't feel real after the last third of the season that we had. This doesn't feel real at all. Like it feels like a fever dream. But I'm just this team will take you on this roller coaster. Buckle up because it's sometimes it has its downs, but mate, it just keeps going up. So where to from here? Now we'll play the winner in 2 weeks of Geelong, Brisbane, Fremantle, Gold Coast. So we're on the good side of, I say the good side of the draw, only because, not that it's going to be easy, right? Only because we don't have to play one of our two bogey teams in Hawthorn or the Giants if we had lost. So that's really good. We could still face off, in a grand final if we are lucky enough to make it. But man, this extra week off is exactly what we needed. It's exactly what we needed. Like I was saying, this is like with Nick Dacos in 2023. We beat Melbourne. We gave him the extra week to prepare his knee. He didn't have to force himself to come and play. So that means Jeremy Howe in that prelim, could he return? Could Bobby do a big 3-week trial or 2-week training block and return for a prelim? What does Dan McStay look like? There's a lot of questions regarding the team. But one thing that doesn't need questioning is the effort, the intent of this Collingwood side and their willingness to just fight to the absolute death. It was incredible. The vibes were incredible. And just before I wrap up, shout out to Regina. Happy birthday. I know you watched my videos. We won because of you. Shout out to Gary, the pizza man, Gary. Shout out to everyone that I met. I wish I remembered everyone's sort of names. Serge, Adam, Taylor. There's just so many people. So I appreciate you all, everyone, coming up and stuff like that. I really do appreciate you all. I'll see you in Melbourne, baby. I'll see you at the G in 2 weeks for a prelim. Let's go. Up the mags. I'll swoop you later.